So we are at Paddington Station to get a train to Oxford University, where I am speaking today, or I am meant to be speaking today, but all the trains are cancelled. Of course, it's on the day where I'm meant to be speaking at Oxford that all the trains will be cancelled, but we were early, so we're hoping that a train will come up soon. So for now, we're just waiting. But yeah, I'm meant to be speaking at Oxford today. I'm building a global fashion brand, which is such a bucket list item. Like, that is incredible. I would never have imagined. Actually, no, I did imagine. I always knew I was going to be great, but I just didn't. I don't know. When it actually happens, it's like, wow. Quick fit check while we wait. A Kai Collective Imani coat, Christopher Rogers jacket, a Wake Mode skirt, Jacquemus earrings. I should be wearing heels, but I wasn't going to wear heels for the whole journey, so I have my heels in my bag. This is like my, whoa, there's a train. Everyone's moving. There's a train. Oh, wait, let's look here. Oxford still hasn't come up, you know. Look at all the trains. And Oxford is still saying, please inquire. We just have to cross our fingers. We will make it there today. We're finally on a train. We're going to Reading, and then hopefully there's a train to Oxford from Reading. But this is such a bucket list item that I don't quite feel ready for. But I feel like, when do you ever feel like 100% ready? You just have to do it. It's not like I was going to tell them, like, oh yeah, I'm not ready to speak at Oxford yet. Come back in 2 years. You just have to like carpe the diem, you know. So this year, I decided to really shift my content into what I really enjoy talking about, which is fashion and business, but like fashion business in particular. I love fashion. I love clothes. I'm incredibly stylish, if I say so myself. Why are you rolling your eyes? And I can just talk about business and strategy for hours. And so I'm like, let me just talk about what I actually care about. And so many people have been connecting to it. And actually, I've noticed a lot of founders, especially people who were like low key and would never create content. I'm noticing a lot of founders building personal brands and building personal profiles. And so I've been thinking about it a lot. Like, why is everyone doing this? And it just makes sense if you're an aspiring founder or early stage founder. Firstly, it's nothing new. I mean, Amazon had Jeff Bezos, Microsoft had Bill Gates. People like to connect to people. People buy from people, not from brands. If you're building a software company, it's probably not as important. But if you're building a small like product brand, direct to consumer, you haven't yet raised money, you don't have a big budget to spend on social media, you're bootstrapped, it just really makes sense as a form of marketing, but even to build your own personal brand as a founder. So I'm going to talk about two things. I'm going to talk about why you should build a personal brand and also how you can build a personal brand. We made it to Reading. We are going to make it. Thank God, because I was getting really worried there. I know that a lot of you are just small D2C brand founders who want to build a brand bootstrapped. You don't have a lot of investment. And so for us, I think that it is really crucial. And I even see founders who have exited their first business and made a lot of money now building personal brands. And I was thinking, like, you have all of this money, why are you now building a personal brand? But obviously, if you did really well in your first business, you want the goodwill and authority that you got from that success and that huge exit to follow you into whatever you do next. Just in terms of like investors and different people, like people you could collaborate with in your business, you want to have like a respectable profile and you want to have that authority. So it just really, really helps to build a profile outside of your brand for that reason. I think with the growth of people like Steven Bartlett, that has made a lot of founders realize that I could actually have a whole other source of income than just my company. For example, for myself, I have a personal brand, so I have like collaborations I would do with other brands. Like QuickBooks is a brand that I work a lot with, right? We use them for our accounting, and so I have collaborations with QuickBooks, other brands, fashion brands, sometimes beauty brands. I have speaking engagements, and so for me, those different sources of income are so important to get me closer to the lifestyle and the standard of living I want that the brand cannot necessarily provide me yet because it's still a small brand. Okay, got my heels on. It's game time, baby. I like your Kai dress. Thank you, love. Thank you. How are you?
Good. How are you feeling?
Good, great. Yeah, looking forward to our conversation.
Me too.
Elara?
Alaba.
Lovely to meet you. I love your earrings. They're so pretty. Are you in the business school as well, or you're at St. Catherine's? Or you're in under? I studied anthropology.
I know this.
How is it here?
I am delighted to be moderating this conversation with Fisayo Longo, founder and CEO of Kai Collective. Firstly, thank you for having me, and thank you all for coming. Everyone here is really smart, so I can't blag today. Like I usually do, I have to be on my A game. There are only 5 full-time people on my team. Whenever I say that, people are really surprised because they think there's way more. But for me, I cringe at the thoughts of making anyone redundant. Like, that gives me sleepless nights. So I want a lean business. I just really, really want a lean business. If I could be a solopreneur, I would be. I don't like dealing with people. So at first, the US thing was not intentional. So even personally, as like a content creator person, my biggest market has always been the US. I guess just because there's so many Black women in the US in terms of geography, there's just way more Black women in the US than in the UK. So I've just always had more numbers there. So it wasn't intentional at all. But then now for growth, we are specifically targeting the US. So by the end of this year, we'll have fulfillment in the US, so then we wouldn't need to be shipping from the UK and subsidizing that much because financially it doesn't make that much sense. But before that, it didn't make sense to have fulfillment in the US just based on cost, basically. It was still more cost efficient to send them from here. And so it's only now that we're being more intentional with speaking to the US customers. So it's things like on our website, pricing, showing in dollars, on our last launch. So usually when we have a launch, we say, okay, it's launching at 2 p.m. GMT. That's the language we've always used, right? But on our last launch, we also put like ET, EST, and I don't know, some other American time zone. So basically, so that we're speaking to them directly, it's things like that. And then in terms of like influencers we give, celebrities we try and see our stuff on, we're targeting the US more because there's just a lot more disposable income there. And it's also why like Brexit was really, really terrible for us, like really, really bad. It killed our whole European business, but there is so much more potential for us in the US that instead of going to get Europe fulfillment and trying to build that market back up, I'm just focusing on the US because it's just so many more people and our potential there is just so much bigger. And when we've like conquered the US, then we'll like come back to Europe.
Just got on the train back to London. It was so good. It went so well. No, don't take your AirPods out. That's embarrassing. We made a new friend, and as I started talking on the train, he took his AirPods out to listen, and I'm like, but yeah, no, it was amazing. The questions were really good. I don't really get nervous anymore when I speak, but when we were sat there and I realized, oh my God, this is a bunch of like business school students, you know, it was mostly people on the MBA and on the executive MBA, and I'm like, they know business. Like they know a lot of business, how it works, they know business theory. I actually have to be on my shit, but I think I was on my shit. How did I do?
Smash it.
Yeah. And obviously it's just such a cool thing, right? It's a bucket list item to be like, yeah, spoke at Oxford University. Yeah, it just helps me build my personal brand more, which is super important to me. So let's finish what we started talking about earlier, which was how to build a personal brand. Firstly, know yourself. Like, what are your core values and what do you have expertise in? So what can you share with people and what can they learn from you? So where exactly can you provide value? Identify that. When I was younger, I used to like get into the trending topics on the internet. Still do that a bit from time to time, but not as much.
Approaching Didcot Parkway.
Into trending topics on the internet and just
Please
generally
take all your belongings with you.
chat on Twitter and stuff. And as I've just like gotten to know myself and my brand more, I do that less. I just talk about what I know and what I know people want to learn from me. And just in the same way, like for your business, right? If you wanted to start a business, you would identify your USP, for your personal brand. So for me, I know that humor is an amazing USP, but I'm just not a funny person. I'm just a very serious person. Nothing I say is funny. So I can't use humor, really. So I just stick to what I know I'm good at, which is like close business strategy. And I just talk about that over and over again. So for you, what is it that differentiates you from most people? And then identify what platforms you want to share on. You don't have to share on all platforms at the same time. So I've had a fashion blog since 2012. I don't do it anymore, but that's how long I've been like on the internet, and I'm only just starting YouTube. You don't have to do everything at the same time. When you like master one, then you can move to the other one. And finally, just communicate and engage with people. And if you're consistent and you're providing value, that is what people want, and that is how you build your personal brand. And maybe you'll be like me one day and then you'll speak at Oxford University. I'm actually insufferable. We're back in London. It's been such a great but long ass day. I'm an Oxford University speaker now. Put some respect on my name and subscribe to my channel, guys. Seriously, subscribe now. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.